If you frequently have the thought of, I wish I was doing more of this, or I want to learn more about this, but you can't seem to incorporate it into your day-to-day life, you probably have some disconnected or scattered priorities. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how I overcame that issue. Yo, it's your friendly neighborhood knucklehead here. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how organizing my life and even developing a morning routine was the biggest impact on my mental health, my creative state, and just my productivity in general. I remember listening to an interview with Jack White a long time ago. I think he was talking to Conan O'Brien, but he said something along the lines of one of the most difficult things he had to learn how to do was manage himself. When we go to a job, usually we have a manager, we have responsibilities, and we just have to fulfill our requirements. And there's kind of a safety in that because we can just show up there, we know what we have to do, punch in, punch out, and dip. But when we are our own manager, our own boss, it's kind of like we have to play both sides of the fence with us. If we're not in a flowing state with our mind and body, if we're disconnected, where our mind wants to do a bunch of things, but our body is like not keeping up, then we can fall into states of like feeling overwhelmed or depressed or even just burnt out. So something that was really important for me to do first off is to just kind of write down and keep track of all of these thoughts that I was having about things that I wish I was doing or things that I wanted to do, things that I wanted to make more of a priority in life. I just wanted to get it out of my head and onto paper, right? So sometimes that can be in the form of a to-do list. Sometimes that can just be writing down on like, a post-it note or something like that, but just get something out of your head. And then we can systematically, like one by one, tackle each thing. The first time I started really doing this was earlier on in the year. I started a vlog series even on my healing journey, and I'll put a little card up here for that healing journey. And one of the big first things that I was able to do to start healing was I made the decision that I want to meditate every day, because meditating was something I wanted to experiment with as helping towards my healing path. So I said, okay, every day I want to meditate first thing in the day. And because that became my intention, I was able to follow through with setting a time to wake up and then meditating directly after it. Now, as days and weeks have gone on, I've grown into wanting more and more things and wishing I was more and more involved with other kinds of activities and other aspects of my identity. So it started with I wanted to be on a better sleep schedule. I wanted to be reading more. I wanted to be learning more. I wanted to put myself in a flow state and in a creative place more often. Those were the things that I wanted to do. So then I started thinking, and then we have to start thinking, well, how do we do it? What is our process of incorporating what we want to do into what we're actually going to do in the course of a day? And for me, it starts with preparing your next day. Now, it can come the night before, the earlier you can do it, the better. So there are some times where the night before, I'll start to think about what I'm going to do tomorrow or the next day. But ultimately, if you have the availability, the morning routine is very powerful. My first steps that I took towards this preparation was getting myself an alarm. Even if I didn't have to wake up early for any particular reason, my goal was 9 a.m. to wake up. I just have an alarm that's set for 9 a.m. every day, no matter what, which might seem late to some of you if you really do have like early morning jobs or something like that. But setting an alarm in the morning and also setting an alarm at night. At 10 o'clock, my phone will start buzzing and it'll tell me it's time to start winding down. This day is over. Let's think about what we're going to do tomorrow. So like I said, my morning routine was to wake up and meditate. That was what I had established early on in the year. And then I started expanding into, okay, well, now if I want to read more, what's stopping me from just reading right off the bat? So my morning routine grew into waking up, meditating, and then reading. And actually from reading, I was getting all of these ideas that I started listing out and putting all of these ideas for videos, ideas for content from reading, which is a very good life hack if you're looking for ideas, is to start reading. And then after that, I would have this energy, this inspired energy that's right in the beginning of the day. So what do I do with this energy? And that flowed right into the next thing that I wanted to accomplish, which is to be more in a flow state, to capitalize on this stuff. And I honestly would prepare a video or a piece of content right there in that moment while I was eating breakfast. Like I repurposed breakfast into writing down, how I was going to go about my next video. So my whole morning routine turned into one thing leading into the next. Waking up at an early time, meditating, reading, getting into a flow state, and then getting creative and putting something into it. And immediately I'm thinking about, okay, now what's the rest of my day going to look like? But immediately I started out with clearing my head, not really going on my phone, just getting into a creative place. And that really helped transform my identity as an artist, because I woke up and I was engaging in creative mental health well-being, which impacted me when I left my house for the rest of the day, because I was already in this powerful state. Once I was able to organize that morning routine and organize my life, it really decluttered my mind, and I was able to avoid burnout, able to avoid depressions, and just staying in a constant creative state, because I was able to do it every single day and every single morning. And it transformed me into the artist that I am right now. If you made it to this point, you might as well pop me a like and subscribe, and check out these other videos that I have coming up. I think you'll really like this one up here. Thanks a lot for watching, and stay creative.